Welcome to the Immigrant Finance Podcast, a show dedicated to everything money, online business, and immigration, because immigrant families deserve to build generational wealth too. I'm your host, Adina, social entrepreneur, immigration attorney, and financial educator and coach for immigrant families. I created the Immigrant Finance platform with my husband, Mauricio, who immigrated to the U.S. 8 years ago after we struggled through the whole process of trying to figure out finances as an immigrant family alone. We wanted to share what we learned about building wealth with others along the way and created the Immigrant Finance School Group Coaching Program, where we teach immigrants and their families like you how to manage their money, get started investing, and build online businesses in just weeks, all with group accountability and support. Our clients have been able to get started investing and develop lifelong plans to build generational wealth regardless of their immigration status, actually launch an online business they've been dreaming of starting for years, bring in enough income to leave a job with a shitty boss, and book up their calendar for the rest of the month just after announcing their new coaching business. I'm coming to you with a new show several times a week with stories about online business lessons, money and mindset insights, and guest interviews to help you become financially empowered. Each episode will switch between personal finance and online business topics. Now let's get to this week's episode. Hi everyone, this is Adina here from Immigrant Finance, and I am going to be celebrating in this episode with you the first graduates of our Immigrant Finance Business School Online Business Accelerator program. They just had their last session today on as I'm recording this, a few hours later. And I am just so overwhelmed with pride and gratitude and celebration for all the amazing work they've done together. And this episode is dedicated to them. I'm not quite sure what will go because I just can't even put into words how I feel about them and, how far they've come and what that means, and that we also got through creating this program and the beta round. It was definitely outside my comfort zone to be doing. So maybe I'll start with kind of the story of how the business school program started, because I don't think I have shared that on the podcast. And it was in the beta round the past 6 months until today. So been very much in the works and being developed and figuring it out as we go. And I have to say, when we started Immigrant Finance, I never thought I would be a business coach. Never crossed my mind. If anything, for many years, I hated businesses and business owners. I've worked in nonprofits for 15 years. I thought capitalism and businesses were the worst thing in the world and the reason for all of the harm that people experience. And didn't understand it. Then fast forward, we started Immigrant Finance and we created our first program, Immigrant Finance School, which is all about empowering immigrants financially, teaching people how to manage money, start investing, and increase income. As we got more into developing that program and testing it and going through several groups of students in the live group coaching program, it became more and more clear to me that what building wealth is really about, and what's so important for the immigrant community and families of immigrants to really understand that's not being talked about enough, is that it's not just about budgeting and paying off debt. Like, that's really not going to help you build wealth. It's the focus really needs to be on investing and increasing income. With investing, there's many ways to do that. There's investing in the stock market, investing in real estate, investing in businesses. With increasing income, you can negotiate your salary, you can sell things, you can have a side hustle that gives you a little extra room in your budget. But to actually really increase income and be able to put yourself in a position where you can generate income on your own and actually build generational wealth, starting a business is really, really important to think about. And, in this new age, day and age with the internet, creating an online business is very different than what we think of with businesses. Is with online business, you can really create and be creative and, build something that's helping people and reach people all over the world and design it however you want. You can design it so you work a few hours a week. There's so many amazing software automations that can help reduce administrative time and all that. Anyway, I digress, but I came to realize how important starting a business is for people to be building generational wealth, and particularly online business, because with online business, it is one of the most accessible ways for people to start businesses and increase income. The startup costs are very low. You don't have to rent a building or pay for the lights to be on or pay for employees to be servicing. You can really start with the costs that are low, and there's no cap on the number of people you can reach and help and work with on the internet because it transcends borders. So it's not like a situation where you need to take out a business loan to start a business, to open a food truck or a restaurant or a bar or something. With the online business, you can start with, arguably less than $100, just like getting a domain name for a website, or even you don't even need a website these days to have an online business. You can just start on social media. So I became more and more clear that we really need to be helping the immigrant community understand the importance of starting online businesses. And I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would become a business coach. I thought we were squarely in the finance space, but the more and more I realized this, and the more I saw the opportunities it gave Mao and I to have an online business in our life, I realized I needed to teach people how to do this, because for us, I can just tell you, like, in 2 years, the difference in our life. So in the summer of 2019, I was pregnant and Mao had lost his job. The place he worked was an international organization with government contracts. They lost the contract, so they didn't have funding for his job anymore. And we were completely terrified and had very few options. Financially, it was really tough. This was just a couple years ago. Fast forward to January 2021, because we have an online business and we have a way to be helping people and generating income on our own outside of employer, we were able to make the choice for Mao to leave the next job he was at. And at that job, he was actually really happy and he was getting benefits for the first time. But it was COVID-19, and we were worried about our young daughter, who was a baby at the time. We were trying to watch her while we were both working full time and creating Immigrant Finance and growing it, and it just got completely unbearable and too difficult. So we made the decision for him to leave his job. And the only reason we were able to do that is because we had an online business. And since then, we've been able to grow it more and more to give ourselves more financial stability than we ever thought was possible. So it's changed our life significantly. And I just know that it can do the same for a lot of people in this community. So the way the business school program started was I just kept having this kind of feeling like, okay, I need to create the next program after Immigrant Finance School that dives in, because in Immigrant Finance School, we cover initial development of online businesses. So we help our students figure out what their business is going to be, like get clarity on what their niche will be and start the market research and start developing an offer. But there's only so much we can cover, because the program also covers managing money and investing, which are huge topics, plus other ways to increase income and money mindset. So we were only scratching the surface. So I just kept having this kind of growing feeling that I really wanted to dive deeper and share basically everything we've learned in the past 4 years about creating and growing an online business with people in our community. So I reached out to a couple of students who had gone through the immigrant finance school program, who had gotten amazing results that really put the work in, and their lives were like totally changing from applying what they had learned and being so brave and really getting their finances in order. And I was just kind of like, I'm thinking of creating this. Like, what do you think? Would you be interested? And a few of them were like, yes, absolutely. And so it was terrifying for me. It's probably one of the scariest things I've ever done because I didn't go to business school. I don't have an MBA. And I really was creating this from my experience. I have for the past 4 years been researching and studying everything about online business and been completely fascinated by it and enthralled by it, particularly about creating a mission based online business like we have, where it's really focused on helping people and providing a solution to a problem that's going to help change people's lives. And I just had this feeling that a lot of people in our community wanted similar kinds of businesses, because when you look at the immigrant community, the businesses that people have often are really helping people and really solving problems and providing high quality service. And I know a lot of people that we work with also are very mission focused and social justice focused and all of that. So I wanted to kind of share, everything I had learned from the sort of, how do you say it, like businessy types of courses and stuff I had done, and put my own spin on it that was much more focused on how to make that impact, that social impact, and be developing, carrying out your mission, your sole purpose from what you're really meant to do, and integrating a lot of the mindset stuff. Because in my experience, the past 4 years in growing immigrant finance, I've had serious mindset stuff I've had to work through, and I've had to work with coaches, and I continue to do so, because when you start a business, major insecurities and doubts and fears come up, and it's terrifying. You have to really go outside your comfort zone to be able to create something. And that's something people don't talk about a lot with business, but all entrepreneurs tend to feel that all the time. If anything, you kind of want to be in that place always, because it means you're constantly growing. And there's a reason why people say that one of the best forms of therapy is starting a business, because it forces you to directly face all your insecurities and fears and all of that. So I knew I wanted to do this. But I had this, my own insecurities, and was like, well, maybe I can do that in 3 years, or maybe one day I'll be qualified enough to start this. And I started talking to some friends and coaches, and got really good advice, like, no, you need to do this now. You can help people, and you have value to share. You have your experiences you can share with people. Go for it. And I got a good kick in the ass from one of my coaches. It's just like, now is the time. So started creating it. I spent several months really working on the outline of what the course would be, and trying to make sense out of all the chaos I had been through the past several years of piecing together uh, things from stuff I'd researched online, from various courses I did, from various coaches I'd worked with, from people I'd studied, from people I had spoken to and learned from their experiences. And for me, I'm a lawyer by training, so I naturally like to make order out of chaos and put things in a very step-by-step, clear process. And so I spent a lot of time, a lot of months trying to do that, and moving around the headings and changing what the lessons would be, and just kept playing with it until it started to feel like something that made more sense, that I could teach and share with people and give people more direction. Because my goal was to help our students save time, save the 4 years that I had to go through figuring this all out, and see if we could teach it in 6 months. That was sort of the challenge I gave myself, that just kind of instinctively felt like this should be a 6-month program. And when you're creating something from your heart and from your soul purpose, your instinct really is guiding you. And something kind of takes over. So a lot of things I didn't know, I just sort of had a feeling of what it should be and started creating it. And this is something I teach our students in the program, of like that balance between following your instinct as the founder of the business you're starting, right? And the one who's had the experiences that you're teaching from, while also balancing getting feedback from your audience and your potential clients, and iterating and adjusting and modifying as you go until you kind of find that balance. So I had a feeling it should be 14 modules, because when I played around with all the topics I wanted to teach and cover, and tried to cut out what was not necessary, it just kind of kept landing on 14 modules, and set it out to be a 6-month program with coaching, live coaching every other week. And I took a leap of faith, and I started reaching out to people who I thought might be interested, who might be a good fit. It was such a roller coaster, and it was really, really scary. As our students found out doing it themselves in the program, um, creating something for the first time while also sharing it with others and getting it out there, and getting, seeing if people are interested, and transitioning them from being interested to being clients, so they can actually get to the work of helping them and doing what they're meant to do. It's very uncomfortable. So I definitely went through that in this program, just like I did with our first program, Immigrant Finance School, creating that. But it was definitely at a higher level with this of fear, because it's it's scary. Teaching business, I was becoming a business coach as I was creating this, and I never had seen myself that way, but I just knew I needed to share this with people in our community. So we had some roller coasters, but ended up with the perfect group of people. We had 5 students in our beta group who are just each absolutely amazing, beautiful people, who, I don't know how we got so lucky, but like all have just such a supportive vibe. Everyone was really in it together and there to support each other. Very collective effort, and everyone is focused on helping others and like being mission based, which is just so cool. They've really changed my life, being able to have that space with them to really explore what it means to be creating a business, which is focused on making money, because businesses that don't make money die, and they have to make money, right? Or else it becomes just a expensive hobby, or it makes you go into debt. So making money, but also really most importantly, helping people and solving problems, and doing what they're meant to do to make the world better. And everybody came from that perspective. Everyone has very different experiences and backgrounds, but there was no one in the group who felt like they were just in it for the money and wanted a fancy car and house or something like that. Like everybody was so focused on making a difference, which has been such an honor to be around and work with them. So yeah, we went through the program 6 months. I saw these students really transform in such powerful ways and become so much more confident in the value they have to offer, in how they're able to really change people's lives, in charging for their value, not undercharging. That was a really big theme of people learning the importance of their value and respecting that, and also making sure it's a fair exchange of value for all of the time and energy that they're going to be put into creating their offers, and serving their clients and helping them. A lot of focus on being visible online and starting to share what they're doing on social media and with people in their networks, and actually posting about it. Um, that was actually something I didn't expect to be as challenging as it was for people, but it's actually not a surprise, because that was really challenging for me. And like it took us a couple years to even post a picture of ourselves. There was like probably 2 years that went by where we were anonymous in immigrant finance. We didn't even have our names because we were so terrified of being public. So the fact that they were all able to kind of get through that in 6 months together was was actually amazing. Yeah, and a lot of mindset things to work through with money, like what it means to charge money and ask for money for the time you're contributing, and the work you're doing, and not being taken advantage of, not undercharging. So yeah, I wanted to just highlight a couple wins that they had to just really celebrate them, and just honor the great work that each of these students did. Every single person had such amazing progress. And before I get to that, this is going to sound so cheesy, but I wanted to read from this children's book that I've been reading with my almost 2-year-old daughter. It's a book we rented from the library, and it's a book about immigration. And there's those cheesy narratives about immigration and the American dream and all that I myself question. I don't know how available they always are, but there is, that piece of hope about immigration that I think all of us in some way feel or see or hope for. And this book just touched it really nicely, and it made me reflect a lot on why it's so important that these students created the businesses they have. So I'll read from a little bit from it. The book is called My America by Karen Katz. And it's about children that come to America. So when I read this to my daughter, I think about a lot of our students, whether it was them who came as children to the United States, or their parents or their grandparents. At some point, someone in the family came as a child or as a young adult, right? Or had other family members who came. And I just think about all the hopes and dreams. And one of them is the opportunities that are here, and including the businesses that many immigrants create. Immigrants are notorious for creating some of the best businesses and being entrepreneurs. I could go on and on about this, because I'll just say, what always really speaks to me is thinking about how immigrants are some of the most innovative people that are out there, most brave people, because it takes a lot of courage to leave where you're from and leave your comfort zone for something better, and to take that risk that you don't know if it will definitely work out, but to take that risk for more and for more opportunity. And I think that speaks so much to like the essence of humanity and the best in humanity. And not everyone actually is like that, but immigrants are the ones who are and who do take those risks, which is one reason I've always been so intrigued in learning more about immigrants and the immigrant culture, because it's also, it's also separately from that what is required to start a business, I've realized. And so that's why this book is making me think of our students who just finished the business school program. So the book starts off with a picture of, different people coming to the US in different ways. Some are on planes, some are on boats, some are on cars, some are walking. And it says children come to live in America from many different countries and for many different reasons. Some come from far, far away. Some come from very near. Some come on a plane, some come in a car, and some come on a boat. Some come with moms and dads, and others come with aunts or uncles. Some come with grandparents, and some come alone. Some are teeny babies, and others have grown big. They come to America to make their home. And then it gives lots of individual stories of people from all over the world and the reason they came. And then at the end of the book, the book sums it up, and it says, "We came here for many different reasons. I came to be with my family. I came to have food and shelter. I came to go to school. I came to feel safe. I came for new opportunities. This is my new home. This is my America." Oh, so I just love that, because we all have come here for different reasons, whether it's ourselves or family members or ancestors. Unless you are indigenous to the United States, you are from an immigrant family. And there are various reasons people come, but one common thread is the opportunities available in this country. And, my family, it was my great grandparents who came. They came for safety. They were fleeing for their lives as refugees. And that, although that was the reason they came, they also were here for opportunities. It turned out, because once they got here, because the reason they were able to climb out of poverty was starting little businesses. So they started with like little groceries, and then my grandfather started a liquor store, and that's how he was able to go from poverty to the middle class. And so business is a really powerful tool in this country for people to be able to pursue the opportunities that they want or that are available in this country. And that's why I am so incredibly passionate about teaching teaching immigrants and their families about how to start businesses online today, because like I was saying in the beginning, online business is one of the easiest way to start a business now. It's also where the whole economy is moving, right? Everything is going online. Even in-person businesses have to have online presence. In fact, one of our students in this program started a cleaning business in person, obviously, but she's been getting a lot of her clients through online marketing strategies that we've covered and building her presence online. And so that's how she's actually got a lot of clients in her local area. So business is just an incredibly powerful tool for immigrants to be able to build the lives they want and to have more opportunities. It's very difficult to build wealth without finding a way to increase income like that. And with business, there's just no cap. So for me, coming from, my mission that I come to immigrant finance with, which is about really wanting to help empower immigrants and see immigrants being powerful and, claiming their power and having options, having stability, having choices, being able to live the lives they deserve. I see business as a critical tool to do that. So, thank you for listening to a little bit of children's story time with me. And I'll just share some of the wins now with some of our beta round students, who I just will always be eternally grateful for trusting, not only themselves that they can start businesses, but also me to support them in doing it, particularly in the beta round, as I was figuring out how to be a business coach as I was teaching them. And I'm just so grateful to them. So I'm going to use different names. So these are just pseudonyms. So I'll talk first about our student Carmen. So Carmen was able to create something to really help people struggling in their careers and offer a very unique spin on how to do that, very different from other people in the field, based on her experiences, based on her personality, right? And she created something that's very unique and had a lot of mindset stuff come up, holding her back from, I think, really believing that or seeing that or having the confidence to share that with others, like we all do, right? I go through that all the time myself, and it's completely normal. Everyone goes through this stuff. And she was able to get to a place where she was able to start, actually letting herself create what she's meant to create and charging her worth, right? It was very hard for her to raise her price to an amount that was going to be fair and respect her value, but she did it. And she was able to start getting high paying clients. Even within the first few months of the program, she got some of her first clients. And she also had clients starting to come to her without her even doing that much posting on social media or outreach. And now I think she's in such an amazing place of seeing what's possible for her, because she has done the really hard mindset work to get to a place where she now knows how to make money on her own, and she knows how to help people on her own and doesn't need to do it through a job. And she can make a really big impact because she has a lot of value to share with people. So I'm so proud of her. The next student I'm going to talk about is Dave. So Dave also started creating something to be helping people from his life experience and filling a huge gap in his community, developing an online course and program that's going to really give people the tools for success that he had to figure out the hard way and be able to share it with people to help save them some of the, the struggle in that process. And he started telling people in his network about what he was creating, and got multiple people very interested very quickly who wanted to sign up. One mindset challenge he had come up in particular was like actually sealing the deal and getting people to like go, enroll and pay so that they could officially become clients. And we were talking about it on our last coaching call today, and talking about some of the mindset stuff behind that. And we did a whole mindset up leveling coaching session today. And he actually went ahead and sent the payment link while we were on the call, which was something he had, I think, been kind of avoiding for several weeks, right? And he got his first payment right away while we were on the call. So I'm so proud of Dave. He is creating something amazing that doesn't exist. It's going to really change people's lives. And he has so much value to share. So I can't wait to see what's to come for him. The next person I'll talk about is Flavia. So Flavia did a lot of really amazing work to clear space in her life, to make it possible for her to start really prioritizing herself, and to start being in a position where she can create her business. She talks about how she's, was a people pleaser her whole life and thought she had to do, what we're supposed to in society, go to school, go get a master's, go get a corporate job, go buy an apartment, right? And she did all those things, but it wasn't in alignment. Like, she is such an amazing person and has so much value to share as well, and has already been helping a lot of people in her network in the health space, health and wellness. And so what she really, I think, had a lot of movement in the program was shifting things around in her life to allow her to get to a place where she can really do what she's meant to do, right? And changing some of those beliefs about what she's supposed to be doing. So she actually left her high-paying corporate job during the program and switched to another job that was going to give her more time, to give her more space to build her business, which was a huge, huge move for her. She also started networking more and is going to be doing some workshops to share her offer and how she's able to help people and start building that community. And she's developed some really amazing partnerships with folks in similar spaces in her area. Was even invited to be a board member at a nonprofit that's in a similar space. So she has so much success coming for her. I just know, because she's been doing some of the really hard work of the mindset stuff underneath and creating the space available to do this work, which is not easy, right? And also it's a lot more sustainable the way she's doing it, I think, instead of just like quickly trying to like force something and then not having a sustainable system in her life to allow that. The next student I want to talk about is Sarah. So Sarah was able to, similar to Flavia, really rearranged a lot of pieces in her life, and a lot of cleared up a lot of space to figure out what she really wanted to be doing. Because a lot of what we do in the program is helping you figure out what you're meant to be doing based on your soul purpose, right? And she also had kind of subscribed to these stories in society that, it's not our fault. We're just conditioned to believe that, you have to be doing a very rigid job and certain type of work, right? Have certain type of schooling. And so she was very kind of stuck for a period in that world, but it wasn't serving her. And so some of the amazing work she did was giving herself permission to start being messy, to start creating, and not having all the answers, and going into that zone of uncertainty that is the nature of starting a business, which was very, very different from how the rest of her life has been. That's been very much following a path, just like Flavia. So she thought she was going to have to do a certain type of business based on her prior skill set to create financial stability for her, which is an important value. But she learned along the way in the process that that was really forcing something that wasn't what she actually wanted to do. And she has some really amazing passions and natural talents that, doesn't feel like work for her, that she's incredible at, that she's going to be able to help a lot of people with. It's what she's meant to be doing. And she told us on the last session that she got the courage to actually leave her job with complete, trust, not worrying about it and knowing it's going to work out. It's what's meant to happen, and not having anything lined up so that she can create what she's meant to create. So I'm so proud of Sarah and can't wait to see the amazing things she's going to be creating. She's absolutely brilliant and has so much value to share, and is going to be, coming from a place of what she's meant to do and what she wants to do instead of what she thinks she's supposed to be doing. And then finally, I want to share the story of Jessica. So Jessica started the business of her dreams. It was a business she had wanted to create and wasn't sure if she was able to or how, because of her immigration status and not having the access to know how to do it the right way. And a lot, I think, of what she got out of the program was like the permission to let herself just do it, and to let and have that supportive community of the group coaching, to be there for her as she went for it. And oh man, did she dive in, and she started getting clients left and right, like within also the first few months of the program, referrals. I mean, things happened really, really fast for her once she made that decision, I can do this. She even had her business Instagram and Facebook that she had built up get shut down, and still was able to work through it and keep growing her business. And it like didn't even make a huge impact because she has built such an amazing reputation so quickly in her area. And she was able to leave her job at Subway, where she was getting, definitely underpaid for her amazing brilliance and value, and be able to have more time with her family and focus on growing her business because it has been so successful so quickly. Now, this doesn't happen to everyone, but with some people, all they need is that support and the space to give themselves permission to go for it, and then the guidance of how to get there. And that's exactly what happened to Jessica. And she was able, even within the 6-month program, to hire multiple people in her family to start helping her in her business, because she couldn't do it all herself anymore, of how quickly it was growing. She's able to now be in a position to buy her dad a new car. His car was broken down that he needs for work, and that's something that would not have been possible for her without having her business. And she was able to hire, her brother and pay him more than what he was getting at his job. And she's now also doing something she's really passionate about, which is volunteering more in her community, and she's starting to get invited to speaking events, and she's giving back to her community, which is like a huge part of her mission in her business and part of, why she does what she does. So these are just incredible people. I am so fortunate to have met them and have had this opportunity to support them and learn from them in the past 6 months. And I wanted to just share and celebrate some of their wins with you all, so that you can give them the good energy going forward in their businesses and support them, and allow them to have those good vibes as they continue to do what they're meant to do and be helping people in their areas and their communities. And I also wanted to share their stories for those of you who are like, I maybe want to do that, but I don't think I can, or I don't know if I believe in myself to, or I don't know if I'm allowed to because I'm undocumented, or because I have DACA, or because I'm the first in my family to start a business. Um, these people are living proof that you can do it. They all started the program just 6 months ago with really just an idea. None of them had anything fully fleshed out. And as I was saying, like several of them within just a few months started getting high paying clients. They've all developed offers of how they can be helping people. They know what to be doing in their business to grow it online. They know their pricing, they know marketing strategies, they have had sales training, they have training on systems and softwares and automations and a lot of mindset. They've got a lot of tools to work through the mindset stuff. And I'll just kind of wrap up with something I was talking with them about today in our last session, which is that the fears and the insecurities and doubts and the ego stuff that comes up with starting a business is completely normal and expected because it's part of the human experience and it never goes away. It's actually constantly recurring, especially every time you grow and expand in your business and or do something outside your comfort zone. Same in life in general, right? So when you do that, like your ego tends to freak out and your mind wants to keep you safe because our brains are evolutionarily designed to protect us, like protect us from getting eaten by the lion, protect us from jumping off a cliff, protect us from putting our hand in a hot fire. That's how most of our brain is designed. And so that goes into high gear when you're going outside your comfort zone and you're creating something and you're doing something that's scary, that has a lot of potential to do a lot of good for yourself and your family and others, but is risky because you don't know if it will work out and there's nothing guaranteed and it's hard work. So that stuff is just going to keep happening. It's not like you overcome one mindset battle and then you're good for the rest of your business. It's a constant part of business and it's something that needs to be talked about more in business, and it's why it's such an essential part of our program and our coaching. So much of it is focused on this business mindset stuff so that you can keep going forward and keep growing and creating your business despite those coming up and have the tools to work past them. So just know that if you're feeling like, I don't know if I can do that, I'm scared, it's normal. It's actually part of the deal with starting a business. And there are ways that you can work through those things to create what you're meant to create. And the world needs you to do this. The world needs you to create what you're meant to create because everybody has been put on this earth for a reason, to help people and make a difference. And there is something you have to offer and help people with that no one else can do. No one else can do. That's why there's no such thing as competition, I believe, particularly in online business, because even if you were creating something that's similar to what someone else is doing or similar industry, whatever, like you're going to have your own way of explaining things. You're going to have your own experiences to bring to it and share with people and teach people. You're going to have your own perspective. So there's people who need you. There's people out there who are waiting for you to have the courage to take the step to start and create a business so that you can help them solve whatever problem it is that you're meant to help them solve. And this is exactly why we have this program, the Immigrant Finance Business School Online Business Accelerator. So we would love to support you in making sure you can do this so that you can get out there and start helping people and also reach your fullest potential, also to be growing as a person and also to be having a way to increase income so that you can have more options and choices for your family, so that you can have the choice for you or your spouse partner to leave their job if they need to for family reasons or if they want to, so that you can help your dad get a new car that he needs for work when his car is broken down and has no options, so that you can hire your brother who's being underpaid and give him a better quality of life, right? So that you can give your children the life that you never had and the opportunities you never had, so that you can reach your fullest potential and be the dream that your immigrant parents had when they came here, of why they've struggled so much so that their children can have more opportunities. This is available to you. You don't need to have some special degree to start a business. You don't need to have some opportunity that other people, um, don't have access to. You don't need to be part of a certain class. It's really about, are you willing to do the mindset work to keep going forward, even if it's the smallest of baby steps, to create what you're meant to create and focus ultimately on them, not you, on the people who need you, not yourself. Because at the end of the day, a mission-based business, a heart-centered business is about helping the people who need you. It has nothing to do with you. And so a lot of the time it's just like getting out of your own head and the focus on yourself so that you can create what people need and how you're able to make an impact in this world. So I hope this was enjoyable for you to hear this story about our amazing beta students who I will always be so grateful for and never forget for being the first ones to go through this program. We just started the second round for Immigrant Finance Business School, the online business accelerator, and also have an incredible, amazing group of people. I don't know how we've gotten so lucky, but they have just like an amazing supportive vibe as well. We had the first call last week and they just were like already jumping in, supporting each other and encouraging each other. And it's just such a pleasure to be part of. I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world. So yeah, if you're interested in being part of this amazing community and getting the support to create what you're meant to create, we are here for you. You can apply for the program at immigrantfinancebusinessschool.com. We'll set up a call and we can chat, and I do a little bit of business coaching on the call to help you kind of figure out what something could be that you could create and see if it's a good fit, what you're looking for, what your goals are. And yeah, we'd love to support you and work with you. So take care. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the Immigrant Finance Show. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already, and leave us a review so we can reach more people to help. Also, did you know we started a free Facebook group for immigrant families who want to build generational wealth? We're doing free monthly trainings covering everything from investing to online business. Plus, you will be in there with a network of other inspiring members of our community. Make sure to join us at facebook.com/groups/immigrantfinance, and we'll see you there.